Chapter 4 is on the progression of love. What we saw in chapter 3 was our emotional world. What do we do with these emotions? What are they? How can we best process them, pause, reflect before acting? We got a little bit into the specific cases of anger and the battles of that, and also the uniqueness of shame. And finally, we also talked about how love doesn't always mean feeling good, right? There's a sacrificial component that's important for love to mature. Chapter 4 is on the progression of love, which is really a synthesis of John Paul II's teachings that are found in Love and Responsibility, where he speaks about how the head and the heart must work together to bring about an intentional choice of love for the other. So we're going to get a little bit into the breakdown of each of these stages and see how love progresses and matures by laws of growth. Right? Beginning with more sensual reactive stage, which is attraction, to a later, deeper, more self-sacrificial stage in that unconditional love, which is the fourth stage. So first stage is love as attraction. It's that normal boy meets girl intrigue, enticement of what the persona of the other does to us, right? The nice smile, the funny personality, the beautiful hair, whatever that might be for you. John Paul II calls it the raw material of love. Yet we know also in that moment, that initial moment, that we can distort the truth of the whole person because we're so focused on one particular physical aspect. So this is kind of the danger of this first stage, is that we don't see the person as person. We only see them in that physical capacity and nothing more. Stage 2 is love as desire. It's not merely attraction, it matures. It goes from I like attraction to I want desire. It sees the good of the other and wants to possess it. Yet we know if we're not careful, we can fall into the taking of that other thing, right, versus the giving or understanding or mutual receiving of the other. This is essentially what lust is, right? It's that possessiveness, it's that taking, that grasping of what I want in this other person. Emotional chastity really is the acid test for us to avoid that, because it allows us to reflect before we decide. So it's very important that we learn to develop that habit. This moves us into the third stage, love as goodwill, where we go from I want, desire, to I want this good for you, the maturing of desire in goodwill, from me to we. Now, the opposite oftentimes of goodwill, of this goodwill stage, is what we call unrequited love or unrequited love, which is one party is doing all the giving and all the sacrificing and the other is not. Common experience often in this third stage of goodwill love. We culminate in the maturing of love in the fourth stage with love as unconditional, no conditions. It's that total unconditional I love you and a gift of myself to another. And it's a synthesis of all the stages. It's not like when we get to this stage, we have no more desire or attraction. No, it's the perfect kind of integrating of all the different human stages coming together in that perfect love for the other. This love does more than any other stage to perfect the persons that experience it. It makes us better human beings when we love unconditionally. Conclusions of these stages of love is simply this, that we're going to make a lot of mistakes. We're going to stumble around, and we are going to fall into more of a me-centered rather than an other-centered reality. But little by little, we will find ourselves growing stronger in that habit of putting the other first over ourselves. Emotional chastity helps train our natural reactions, redirecting them from perhaps an initial me-centered taking to a gradual other-centered giving, resulting in respect and recognition for the other person. As regards to the small group discussion, I want you to give special emphasis or time on the second and third stage, the desire to goodwill. There, I believe, is where we learn the most as regards to unconditional love. Thank you.